Welcome, 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 brothers and sisters. Whoever wills to be my family, whoever wills to be my friend, whoever wills to be my ally, whoever wills to love. Welcome to this special Christmas day, December 24th. Deadline for cleaning, reordering, purifying my room office and temple will have to be extended by about 7 days or so. As tomorrow by 3 o'clock p.m. I'm not gonna be able to finish. I'm gonna be extended deadline, as they say. Politics and finance, and as for the founding of the Phoenix People's Party. My writings over the past more than 10 years, struggling across the great desert, struggling with chronic illness and with many issues, financial, physical, social. This black, beautiful black. There's a binder with my writings, which I will share in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. First and foremost, love has to guide us. Love with action. I said finding many people find it hard these days, and it's tough, dark times. And I've said, well, before I found an international anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love internationalist party for world peace to link the dancing goddess empire and the dragon and the dancing goddess empire, Phoenix People's Party. Well, first, if I do that, I'm gonna have to clean my room first. So. Nonetheless, let's have a little bit of a discussion about it. Get yourself a cup of coffee, something to hydrate with. I'm gonna be having some coffee. This beautiful black mug that I'm gonna make a demonstration how it will turn. Look at this. You see it's gonna slowly, as it's heat triggers the transformation, so that dark black will be transformed, see, to beautiful blue skies and white clouds with balloons. So let it be thus after these black, dark times of COVID-19. The Phoenix People's Party, which I'm founding now on December 24th and officially launched tomorrow. Today is December 24th, 8:14 p.m. EST, Hawk Island, Montreal. Yours truly is financially rock bottom. I have a penny left, but I have food to survive, to keep on fighting, keep on writing poetry, keep on dancing, on doing push-ups, hawks. See? Cheers to world peace. So let it be so that new clouds, new heaven begins with joy. Phoenix People's Party for world peace, to link the dancing and the dragon empires, whose mission, vision, and philosophies are, of course, to attain world peace in their respective missions. For the Dragon Empire, to create the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, to secure food, housing, and transport. Speaking of food, it's affordable food for yours truly. Some wieners, this Christmas. And these breads. We got mustard, we got relish, we got a bit of a sauce. So these sausages will give me enough energy until tomorrow morning. I could be up all night, maybe until 3 in the morning, to reorder, purify, and clean my room off in temple. Before I begin a little bit of my blah blah blah, I want to thank the goddess who dances with her brother the sun to make and create all the fruits and vegetables. Even this bread who comes from wheat, and blessed are the hands of those who feed us. So to show you the bit of the representation of the goddess and dances with her brother the sun to make, create, and produce everything that we eat, all the fruits, all the vegetables. That is, of course, metaphorical, metaphysical, and spiritual, and imaginative. It requires some imagination, some to think and to envision that dance, because it's a dance that myself as an independent artist can only try and emulate a spark of, because it's of course the dance of the whole that creates, makes, and produces everything. Because right now in the world somewhere, or it's night now in Hawk Island, somewhere in the world it is sunset and sunrise, right? It's happening now. That is, the sunset, sunrise is happening now, somewhere in the world. An educated guess would be in China, in Korea, Indonesia, Japan, India. Surya, as my brothers and sisters in India call the sun. I have to learn how to say sun in all the languages, and Mother Earth perhaps in all the languages. I'm willing. I'm willing. My brothers and sisters, whoever listens to this, maybe nobody. Tough times. And paradoxically, of course, first I'm going to say my statement on COVID. First and foremost, as a citizen, student, scholar of history, of politics, of finance, who knows nothing really. Right? Looking at this food, how much do I really know about this? I can know that it's made of chicken, I can know the information, but who produced it, what that person's like, what astrological sign they have, XYZ, other such features of who profited from it, who made the most money off of it, off of XYZ, right? Speculative. So really, the questions we gotta ask in order to know more, if we will, but it has to come from will. Simple will. See, but this simple meal that I'm having now, it's actually very good. Better than I was expecting. So I'm grateful for it, because this will give me the energy to be able to write perhaps a poem, perhaps continue cleaning my room, office, and temple, and purifying and reordering it. Although, of course, I am sick and fucking tired to live in a basement for. I've been living in semi-basement, in basement rooms for more than 10 years now. And underground, I've lived enough underground, let's say. I've been enough underground. It's time for me to go mainstream. they say, grassroots. Adrian H Dragan, independent artist, activist, and athlete. But is that perhaps a little bit of just trying to box in an identity or an ego that it's not entirely accurate, or it can be not 100%. It can be not 100%. Because we're beings that are emotional, that are intellectual, that are spiritual, some more spiritual than others, etc., etc., etc. We have identities, associations with histories, with past. Myself as adding the fourth dimension to the trinity of independent athlete, activist, and artist, of being a universal spiritual teaching student, learning every day. I've lectured about the importance of food, spirituality of food. Simply stated that we are, me, myself included, and you, whoever you are, we are dependent on a force, entity, power outside of ourselves in order to eat, to nourish our bodies, be able to do the things that we do, whatever it is, all the things under the sun, to build a civilization, right? To build civilization. It's that simple. We must use a bit of meditation, and that's why I commend the motto of the dancing goddess emperors. All fruits and vegetables are produced, made, and created by the dance of the forgotten goddess, one of brother the sun. Of course, it's more metaphorical, although there's some science, of course, to it behind that artistic, spiritual philosophy, if you will. And take this black coffee. Even that bean was created by the dance of the goddess, who burn the sun. Although fruits and vegetables we eat have water, minerals, the black fertile earth, the sun's rays and heat, and vitamin D and what have you in the sun. Right? But when we look at the fruits, we don't consciously think that part of it, XYZ percentage, is concentrated sunlight. We're not actively meditating or being conscious of that fact, right? Now, regardless, even if you think that what I've said is totally cuckoo, kokoluku, dukulupu, lipatalusas, lilipat, you do have to eat. And you can't produce it without a force, power exterior outside yourself and our brothers and sisters, farmers who farm it. And during COVID times, blessed every day. We have to be blessed. And I'm offering, as the founder, I haven't founded the Phoenix People's Party yet because I I gotta clean, reorder, and purify my office room and temple first before I found an internationalist party. But nonetheless, you too are dependent on a power entity who is outside of you, wherever you are, if you made it this far. So whatever that is, how you see it, that is the fact. Sure, we have emotional, wish to food, memories, and what have you. That's another just cup of coffee by itself to discuss that issue. But regardless, food security. What is food security? Even its definition. I can give you a United Nations definition. What does it sound like? Food security. To attain local, national, and international food security. What would mean that would have to provide people the amount of food daily that they need. As healthy as possible, but look, the cheapest food, more affordable food is the least healthy, right? The least healthy. And nonetheless, I believe that we have to advocate and actively fight, struggle to attain food security for all. Massive. This is massive. Food security. Waste, that is. A lot of food waste. I'm gonna say this moment in time, Christmas Eve, just a citizen struggling, as the majority are. But nonetheless, we have not attained food security in Hawk Island, Montreal, Canada. Paradoxically, an eerie, providential, prophetic, parallel way, I've stated it before on record that when I began right here in my room office in Temple, which was added the fourth dimension of converting into a gymnasium, this room office in Temple became a gym where I've lost more than 70 pounds. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will continue to be medicine of choice for me. That the scenario I've made to go hand in hand with the new workout program of Together like a Tango was created, designed to go a crisis-like scenario. My first workout, called by the official title General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, went hand in hand with the World War III scenario that I've incorporated in it, and I've designed the workout to be able to be performed with no access to gyms, with no equipment needed, and for a mobilized citizenry who integrates these security forces, police forces, private security forces, and create a new institution to reorder, rebirth the society, the civilization as a whole. Because in my scenario, there was devastation that's ongoing. And food sources, 2/3 of global food sources are devastated. There's massive global scale war and destruction. And we envision that creation of that force, international force, global. Say we got a world peace, and we gotta get our act together. So that was the scenario. October 17th was the first workout. Still have a few cans of sardines that I've bought. I remember $37 I've had saved. And I've bought a few cans of sardines, and after the first few workouts, I was eating a can of sardines because I said, with whatever few I have, those will join me in the quest for world peace and the creation of the citizen integrated security force to share what I have, the little that I have, my energy, my know-how, give them a massage if they need it, if they have to transport, give food to people, and myself to transport the food to go do whatever is needed, whatever I have, energy, know-how, to give whatever I can give, and I offer a lot. So that was the beginning of the new training program called the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout. 300 because it's 100 squats, 100 push-ups, 100 hawks, and marching in between. For a marching world peace army. And what happened? Well, COVID-19 hit us hard health-wise, and of course financial repercussions. My scenario had a beginning with a fictitious black Halloween, was called the stock market crash, global financial collapse, and a subsequent attack by North Korea and China on the North American West Coast. Paradoxically, I've always advocated with good relations, see no North American relations with China. I wasn't important in many decisions. But trade war, arrest of Meng Wanzhou by Canadian authorities, RCMP, the federal police, triggered diplomatic crises with China. So based on that and other factors, historical factors, I've designed this scenario. Now, which usually reality. Which usually became reality with COVID. Now I'm going to state again, I've stated before, my trinity of beliefs surrounding COVID. It's important that we properly understood my trinity of beliefs surrounding coronavirus, COVID crisis. First and foremost, I believe COVID was transmitted from snakes to human beings. Second, I don't know for sure. And third, I don't rule out the possibility of COVID-19 being an accident, a man-made virus, perhaps even a biological weapon design that was an accident, or even a deliberate bioweapon attack. I don't rule out other possibilities, such as etc., etc., etc. The point is, that in a parallel, paradoxical and providential way that's eerie, my scenario resembles how I've envisioned crises and the subsequent attack. Not exactly, but in many ways. Financial crises, health-wise, right? Turmoil, riots, civil unrest. Not exactly, of course, the same, but nonetheless very eerie, eerie resemblance. Now, my scenario offered a resolution, of course, the rebuilding of society, a rebirth, a new order, new world order. And it's by the creation of these new institutions, global, one, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army. Security force that also has a social role to make sure food, housing, and transport are secured for all. And then people to volunteer, work, keep hygienic protocols, give massages, baths, dance, create art, do what they will, and love what they love, and encourage them to love more, and encourage them to good hygiene, and encourage them to work out, to train, and to exercise. Secure the three: food, housing, and transport. Transport to a certain extent, about how I envision it. My vision is, of course, to work with technology companies and what have you to create a global currency, like a duo system where food, housing, and transport are secured for all. We have to have checks and balances, of course, for people in hobbies for food and housing, and encourage people to eat. But nonetheless, for people to be able to easily transfer and change places where they live, whether locally, regionally, and internationally, with the standards, with the certain rules and regulations. I will share more. I have them established, it's just that it requires more writing, perhaps better in reading to be done. Nonetheless, the Dragon Army, the official name, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, to secure food, housing, and transport. I'm calling all artists, all activists, everybody to support this mission, vision, and philosophy. The mission is world peace. The vision is, of course, via securing food, housing, and transport for all, and then take it from there. And of course, that's the Dragon Empire, the dancing goddess empire, whose mission, vision, and philosophy is to attain harmony between the development of civilization with nature. First, by mass advocating equality and mass financing of renewable energy sources such as solar power, hydropower, wind power, and others, hydroelectric, and public transit. And of course, to establish an international dance league to rival and to accord, since the sports leagues are male dominated. Not all there's women, but in terms of finance, brothers and sisters, and mostly the brothers, making the NHL, NFL, NBA, MLB millions and millions of dollars, sometimes $10 million a year to throw the buck, throw a ball. Dance league, integrated, LGBTQ friendly as I am, LGBTQ myself. But nonetheless, dancing for dancing. Dancing is a combat sport. Dancing is an art. Dancing is divine. Besides that, the link between the two, which of course gotta clean my room first before I officially launch it, found it, Phoenix People's Party. To get all public, private institutions and organizations, refuse them and amalgamated into the institution, the National Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, and the Dance League, to make sure have harmony with nature, and reach and attain and work towards attaining harmony with nature. And the other one, civilization, to have food, housing, and transport secure. You see, then we gotta work from there. But first we gotta have that. Food, housing, and transport. Then encourage people to do more in terms of love, in terms of volunteering, working out, training, exercising, creating art, and enjoying life. All these blessings of technology that we can have. I'm not promising a utopia. I'm dealing with issues on the daily, with struggles on the daily, internal, financial, emotional, you name it. But to this crossing this great desert, this pain, struggle, and suffering that I've lived, been so many years suicidal, and I think that many of my propositions are valid, deserve to be fought for, advocated with love and force and vigor, for understanding, to channel those energies and forces that we have of aggression, because we will need to have that world peace to channel that aggression towards it, towards sports, towards art, towards dancing, because they are there, they need to be channeled, because this love urge to love and be loved is driving us into homicidal and suicidal tendencies, and has been for decades now. So many changes, civilizational, spiritual upheavals, political upheavals. We've tried 20th century. We've tried political ideologies that were repressive, oppressive, totalitarian. Not communism, not fascism. Freedom, liberty is a sword that is double-edged and way too heavy for me to lift. And who can fight for freedom? Who can fight for liberty for his own and his brothers? But with his own character, conceptions, and knowledge, and energies, and baggage, and luggage, and the tendencies and impulses and desires and lusts hidden, or fears hidden, and what have you. I have freedom here, so it's freedom, but with a tear coming, right? Understand our natures. That love to be channeled. I don't have all the answers. Far from it. A citizen, dependent artist, activist, athlete was in the worst financial crisis of his life. But he all done fucked up. Because I got a few more of these winners that are gonna sustain me for a while. So keep on loving. I got some bread. I'm fighting for a few more days, and paradoxical eventually because of my scenario, which is ongoing. COVID is. I got some food stacked for a few more weeks, so I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna survive. I've survived so much anyways. And we will. It's tough to recognize, to admit so many things, right? It was hard for me to admit that I was a bisexual. Homoerotic desires and lusts. I've repressed it for more than wow, repressed it for a long time. Wouldn't admit it, we're fighting it. But repressing energies or thoughts or feelings is gonna lead us to disease, to disease. Let's just channel them into art, dance, and creativity. And I was thinking of, as you know, as one of my spiritual teaching is, we have a trinity and a fourth dimension: lower self, the medium self, the higher self, and the transcendental. That not necessarily good or bad or this and that, or that it's necessarily like that, but just a lower self. So now I was thinking, so much pain, so much suffering, financially, worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Some countries are in a recession, others in a depression. I had a few stunts employed as an essential worker during the summer, but through placement agencies, they didn't even give me a warning, which I don't agree with. We should always give people, if somebody's doing something you feel is wrong, just tell them directly. Gossip, and then the gossip is probably not going to solve anything. You gotta let people know if you work together. And I've been there on the battlefield, in the trenches. I remember during the great financial crisis when I was working full time and overtime. On the recession, the Great Recession, 2007, 2010. Hours got cut 3 times. I went from making more than 40 hours a week to 35, and to 30, and again to about 25 average during the height of the crises. Right? It's tough, it's dark, it's... I said, I don't know COVID exactly, but do think that these solutions to secure food, housing, and transport are things we gotta work for. And The rubbies. Reflection on Christmas Day now, 24th of December, going on the 25th. You know, like I've said, Jesus, my version of Jesus, he was a great rabbi, a great spiritual teacher, a great prophet, of course, of Christianity, and a great figure of Western civilization. Now, the dogma aside, teaching about love each other, another commandment, that one, and practical love. And for my dragons, my citizens, my phoenixes, my dancing army, I'm willing to wash their feet, to wash your feet if you're my friend. Bring you some pleasure, bring you some joy. Right? Referring because he did that, so symbolic, of course, but still it has a hygienic and pleasure purpose. Both can go together. It doesn't have to be in conflict. Pleasure and hygiene, or pleasure and purpose, that is. But regardless, on the question of Jesus, today we mark the beginning of his birth, officially tomorrow, a few more hours, it's almost midnight. Not almost, it's more than 3 hours to go. Summer is already past, already 2015 Europe, right? Time zones. Nonetheless, we mark this day more than, I think, Orthodox. I'm not sure, gotta check. I think that some Christians don't mark it today, others do, but the majority of Christians are Catholic still in the world, and possibly Orthodox second, and third Protestant, if I'm not mistaken, and then the other denominations. But nonetheless, regardless, Christianity as a whole revolves around the figure of Jesus, with the different interpretations and different lifestyles and different beliefs about Jesus, about who Jesus of Nazareth was. But nonetheless, three things I like about the most of the Jesus story. One is when he defended Mary Magdalene, the prostitute, the sex worker. Prefer sex workers. Sex work is work. I'm willing to do a little bit if it brings you pleasure as a leader of the Phoenix People's Party, but you gotta ask, and I might say no. But you gotta ask. But nonetheless. Anyways. Regardless. Said, don't, man without sin cast the first stone. And nobody threw a stone. That is a power. That gives me shivers. That is nonetheless, it's a powerful story. What do you want me to tell you? Persecuted women, burning them at the stake, and unfortunately, put the goddess out. But the goddess is real. She still dances with her brother, the sun, to create, make, and produce everything that we eat. Of which even me, Adrian H Dragan, and Rabbi Jesus, and we're all dependent upon that dance. Dance with the goddess, with her brother, the sun, to make and produce and create it. Now in Asia, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, India, the sun is shedding light and life and energy on a macro scale. Right, and a hawk is flying above all the countries. I just said hawk because hawk is my favorite bird, but it could be an eagle, it can be another. Birds are beautiful. Nonetheless, mark paradox. Paradox. So the three things about Jesus that I like most: stories. Mary Magdalene, the man without sin cast the first stone. The overturning of the tables of the money changers, and because I'm morally, ethically, and spiritually opposed to interest, and I envision the global bank without interest, or minimizing as much as we can interest, right? To be below 10, like it's at a 10% sort of maximum, right? Like it has to be lower than 2025. It's just too much. It's anyways, regardless of our financial, but that was probably the charging the interest and the money lenders tables from the temple overthrowing them. Whereas I think the only account that's in the Bible where Jesus sort of used force, used physicality, even one would say violence. It's the only account, I think. I think so. Where Jesus used force, violence, and money changers. Third is the water into wine. And the fourth dimension is a question more, is the mystery of going of Jesus into Egypt for a few years in the beginning of Matthew 2. But then, as a student scholar, I'm learning every day of the Bible, of Western civilization, history, and religions as well. There's paradoxes or mysteries of the Bible as well in the Torah, the Old Testament, what's called the Old Testament, right? Such as Jacob becoming Israel after fighting all night. Struggles all night with an entity, an angel, an archangel, and some commentators say God himself. But at dawn, that entity being says to Jacob, who was fleeing, his twin was Esau. So he's fleeing, he says, well, wait a minute, let me go, dawn is breaking. What do you mean let you go? What is this entity? A vampire can't stand the sun, they gotta live at night, dawn's coming, fangs, what's going on? At dawn, what is the connection? Well, struggling all night, being injured, and the dawn, the sun, and when the sun is about to rise, right? That's when he has to go. It's symbolic, of course, and there's deep, profound meaning to it. He's gotta go. Let me go. No, I will not let you go, Jacob says, until you give me a blessing. And the blessing is the changing of a name. Right, that's my name. Changing it a bit, or adding, if you will, 3 letters and taking one off, or whatever. So at birth was born Adrian H Dragan. Adrian Honey Dragan. And of course becoming Adrian Hannah Dragan. H-A-N-N-A-H, 6 letters. Adrian Hannah H Dragan, Hannah Dragan. My mom will, thinking goddess will will me to get to fucking dance for her as Hannah, for the dancing goddess empire. But again, it's just a spark of the many thousands of veils of the goddess who dances with the sun. So besides that, the story, back to the story, is nonetheless a great mystery to it. A great mystery to the story. Multiplicity of mysteries, if you will. Because he asks for a blessing, and then the blessing is, so he's in a way is a curse, a great curse. He struggles with it into the all night, he gets injured, But then that entity changes his name. Is because he was asking for a blessing. I will not let you go until you bless me. Right? I'm cleaning my room, please don't judge. It's not that bad. Yes, I like color. I like color. I like black. I love black. I love black a lot, but I love black and red together, my combination. I also love a lot of green, a lot of vivid colors, rainbow, you know. So don't judge. It's not that bad. Like I said at the beginning of the introduction of this video lecture, that I'm in the process of cleaning, purifying, reordering my room of Sun Temple. And I have to do that trinity of purifying, cleaning, and ordering. I have to do the fourth dimension of counting my food security, food source, the food that I have left to see how long it will last me. I'm cleaning, reordering, gonna get rid of a lot of stuff, gonna give it away. Especially this shelf here, this shelf. I got 3 shelves. That one, and that one, plus that's other food. So regardless of that, before I officially launch the internationalist, globalist, for world peace, world body for world federation, global currency, and international citizen, international integrated citizen security force, global police, if you will, social police that is allowed to sing for the people as well as dance and give them some food. The new police. We knew Bobo. We knew Bobo, you know that's for sure though. Yo, okay, let go. Yeah, I rap sometimes, that's therapy, that's a yoga. Lolo, Dodo, Leggy. And that just probably lost a lot of possibilities for financing from the financial elite just because of my rap. But you know what? Eat the rich. And I don't want selfish poison. I'm founding my own bank. World Bank with a trillion of hugs. Giving myself the first one, and when it comes to get it, only once. Trillions of hugs. Dancing goddess, priestess, Hana. Trillions of kisses. Trillions of push-ups from the dragon. Squats, marching steps. Dragon, God bless. Zai is the sun. Anyways, pardon my... I have to look for it. Yes. As a child, believe it or not, was dreaming of inventing and discovering fusion. That was my dream. Fusion, world peace, world federation. It's happening in the sun. So I'm just gonna try to find something, because I was discussing the Bible. Oh, I read this actually, I think on Christmas. Well, 7 years ago, this book. Yeah, it's fiction, conspiracy a bit, it's not. From a creative point of view, I loved it, but I don't believe in the theories that are expressed therein, of course not. It's just, of course I'm not a conspiracy theory believer, but I'm looking for something else. Oh, whoa, oh my gosh. What has happened to this? My secret is out. But I admit a lot of things other motherfuckers don't. What am I looking for? I found it. Finally found it. Yeah, here we go. Jeez. There it is. So it's in Genesis 32, verses 24 to 32. Genesis chapter 32, verses 24 to 32. So Jacob was left alone. The man fought, struggled, wrestled, if you will, with him until the break of dawn, seeing that he could not vanquish, conquer, or subdue, if you will, him. That man striketh his hip socket. Was stricken. Jacob's hip socket was stricken while fighting with him. He said, "Let me go, because dawn is breaking." The entity. And Jacob said, "I will not let you go until you bless me." He asked him, "What is your name?" And he answered, "Jacob, Yaakov." He said to them, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but you will be called Israel, 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 because you struggled, fought, wrestled with God and with men, and you have emerged victorious. You have won, you have conquered." Jacob asked, "Tell me please your name." He said, "What do you ask me my name for?" And he blessed him there. And Jacob called this place by the name of Peniel, because he said, "Saw God face to face. My soul has been rescued." The sun rose when he was passing Peniel, the name, face of God. And he was so I was limping. So that is the story. And of course, Genesis 50, chapter 50 is another mystery there. A lot of mysteries of the Bible. Of course, another mystery is, of course, in Exodus chapter 17, I believe. Hope you don't mind or skip forward or just whatever, but it is 24th, 25th of December, and more than a third of humanity marks this day as the birth of their prophet, of the call Savior, that's salvation. Nonetheless, many teachings of Jesus' rabbis, such as love thy neighbor or love each other, washing of the feet stuff, that was fucking cool, man. Fucking rocking. Chapter 17, Exodus chapter 17, verse 10. Joshua did what Moses asked to fight Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur. It's written here with 3 letters, but in Hebrew also has 3 letters. Hur. Mysterious character who kind of appears out of nowhere. It went to the top of the mountain. When Moses used his hand, Israel was stronger. When his hand was lowered, Amalek was stronger. And the hands of Moses were fatigued. He took a stone and put him under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur were holding his hands. Aaron, his brother Aaron, the biblical Aaron, A-R-O-N, and Hur, holding his hands, one on one side and one on the other. Well, of course, what's interesting about the name Hur, and as many names, is that it has an ancient Egyptian connection. And of course, the mystery of Israel and the struggle and the people of Israel, the tribes of Israel. Right, we're not going too much into it. There's a mystery there. I believe I lived there in a past life in ancient Egypt, as I lived in ancient Israel, ancient Babylon, ancient Sumeria, Roman Empire, Greek, even in India. Of course, traditionally, Christianity's belief on reincarnation, there's some hints there, in my opinion, in the Bible. Still not clarity of who Jesus was. Is he Elijah? Is he a prophet? Is he a prophet returned? And of course, the question of reincarnation in Judaism is that reincarnation is real. So mysteries, the names, and of course the Torah, Ra, of course, linking to ancient Egypt's mysteries, and the Torah is called the Bible in Hebrew, right? Torah is the holy name given to the 5 books of Moses, the Torah. And again, Sarah, the appellation, Sarah, and many words, many such as Anoichi are of ancient Egyptian origin. Without going into the Freudian hypothesis, as Freud speculated that Moses was Akhenaten and such, there is a deeper, more stronger connection. Of course, if you read Genesis chapter 50 of Genesis, there's a mystery there as to the embalmment procedures and the XYZ and what have you of Jacob, and how come it stated that the Egyptians mourn for him the period of the mourning of 70 days, which is it's quite a mystery. Anyways, there's many mysteries. I'm looking at this laptop here. How much do I really know? I know a little bit in theory. It needs energy, batteries. So I'm recording this is going a little bit full, so it needs energy. It needs a battery to be full capacity, or at least half capacity, or functioning capacity. It has the interior drives. I'm not live, so I'm not connected to the internet right now. I know there's a microphone that is detecting my input, which is my voice. But it's waves of noise, right? Noise, sound, travels. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 30,000 kilometers per second is the speed of light. Travels 300,000, 10 times more light than sound. Speed of sound and the speed of light, I think there's a 10 times speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. And I have to double check, but from my recollection it's 30,000 about kilometers per second. That's 3 seconds already. To 100,000 or 300,000. 300,000 kilometers per second. Speed of light. Of course, the whole mystery of computer science, which Bill Gates, my Scorpio brother, please. I would love to give a lecture a whole day, a whole weekend. Really just talk to me about computers, your experience, what do you know? I'll give him a massage there. There you go, Bill Gates' massage his head. I can know more. Elon Musk too. Jeff Bezos too. Regardless of that. It's mysteries. It's things that we know. Like this coffee. I'm drinking this coffee. Well, I know a little bit about it, but it doesn't say where it comes from on the label. Usually I check the label, so I can speculate. I could try to write them a letter. Say, hey guys at XYZ company, buy your coffee. I'm excited about it. I paid a good price. I really like it. It's one of the best. I want to keep on purchasing your product. But before I do want to purchase, I want to know where it comes from, the country, because I know there's top 10 exporters, producers and exporters of coffee. The top 3 are Brazil. Vietnam became the second, overtook many countries in just the past decade. They dedicated a lot of their crops to coffee growing. Vietnam in Asia. Colombia grows it. Honduras is in the top there. Uganda, I think, is 7th or 8th place or something like that. So I want to know. I want to try coffee from Uganda. I never think I did. Unless this is from Uganda, I'm drinking it now, but I don't know. It's not written on it. So I have to ask questions. This is also the question that's important, and then the answer, right? And of course, doing is also part of it. Learning by doing, learning by seeing, learning by memorizing. There's so many things I wish I knew. So many things I don't. Perhaps some of the things are better not known. One of my favorite movies is this movie, what's the title now? Anyways, title for some reason beyond my control is not coming to me, but the point is that make it a riddle, make it a guess, make it a challenge. If you made it this far, 66 minutes into the video without a heart attack, God, hopefully not, hopefully my video, my words are only bringing you joy, health, invigoration, and meditation. Perhaps you'll become a friend and ally and be my brother or sister bro, LGBTQ family. But nonetheless, back to the movie that I'm referring to. There's a character in the movie. He's ambiguous. We don't know exactly what he is. It's left as a mystery. He can shapeshift, change appearance. He has abilities beyond human beings, and he's able to cause events, but he does harm a few people when he's arriving in a village. It's a winter day, it's a storm, a snowstorm begins, and he is seemingly, I guess, he caused this storm in many ways. It's not clear, that part, but nonetheless, he knows things about the individuals and the people that he was not supposed to know. There's secrets, meaning something they hide, such as one of them has drugs. Another one's, a few years back, they beat this a gay person, and he knows about somebody who's cheated on his girlfriend, so he knows the secrets of these people, what they hide from others, right? What we don't want to admit, what we don't want to hide. And even with the main character, he knows that years and years and years ago, when he himself had forgotten it, had forgotten that incident, that what he did. Had forgotten that incident, what he did. That he cheated on an exam in high school. So since he's like in his late 30s or mid 30s, this was like more than 20 years, right? So like it can happen that you forget that you cheated on one of your exams in high school after 20 years, you don't remember. But nonetheless, he knows. And the other person says to him he doesn't like his type of knowing. Meaning, and that's why I said we really want to know, right? Have that so much knowledge, because then we would, and knowledge comes to have to discern how do I, like, for example, punishment. I was thinking about the story of Jessica Krug. If you don't know the story of Jessica Krug, it's happened, I think, it came in the news about 3 months ago, or 77 days. So she was an academic professor in academia, a scholar, professor, who for more than 10 years. She started teaching in about 2009, and just early this September or so, she ended. So more than 10 years, almost 11 years, she spent her adult life, career as a teacher. And she had claimed to be of Black, Latin, and North African, and this identity. So she was teaching as a Black professor, Puerto Rican, Latin American, Black and Latina professor. She was in academia in the United States. Jessica Krug. I'm not joking. This is a real story that was in the news. And for almost 11 years, she was in academia teaching as under an assumed identity, a Black and Puerto Rican identity. Right? So she was, I don't know. But okay, a lot of people got hurt. And she got found out, and at first, I thought it was something from a movie, Hollywood type of Harvey Weinstein direct type of trippy ass flick and shit like that. But it happened to be true. Now, people were hurt, people were emotional. I mean, she was claimed. What was she teaching exactly? It seems that there was a mixture of Marxism and communism in her. Supposedly there was some, said she was very whatever anti-white, whatever. She spoke bad always about white people and this and that. This was from testimony from somebody who was on CNN or something. Went on a date with her, and she was very hateful towards white people, and he didn't like it. And he is the person. He's also a person of, I believe, mixed color. So he's a person of color, also a Black person who didn't like her talking, generalizing about white people so much, and we should never generalize. That's again one thing that I like to generalize, because we're individual, all fall short, and how many of us are willing to admit, and that we have secret desires, secret lusts. I'll fucking my homosexual erotic, interracial eroticism, queen of spades for years. You know, but repressing it will not. We will channel it and to be discreet. But our natures are different. So generalizing white people this, black people that, brown people that. I believe in mankind and humankind. I believe the Phoenix People's Party. I believe myself. I'm struggling. I can't do it without your help. So I have a nature that's lustful, that's intense sometimes, that's very thinking, very meditative, very spiritual, but at the same time I have urges and desires like man and woman sometimes. And nonetheless, I believe we can birth a new race, a free race, freedom with responsibility and securing food, housing, and transport for all. Back to Jessica Krug, a white professor, white Jewish professor, Jewish professor who for almost 11 years pretended to be black in academia, Latin American, black Latin American, and whatever XYZ, whatever you make of the story, the point is there was finances involved. Supposedly she was given a grant in name of for Black African Studies, right? She wrote a book or some treatise. She makes this seemingly communist, Marxist ideologies with things like that, anti-colonialism, and it's anyways, point is she took finances she wasn't supposed to and abusing, so she financially parasitical abuse, right? Because she wasn't. So now if she actually gave from that grant, at least from that she took, she actually gave to African Americans, Latin Americans for food security. If she gave at least 10%, that's a little bit better. Like deeds, actions, right? Like balancing the scales, right? Scale match with scale, scale match with scale, scale match with scale. I don't know where my deeds are. Maybe maybe I need a lot of karma to repair. I'm giving free hugs. Hope that will win a little bit. Right? Deeds. Because our goddess and God are by the deeds we do. But nonetheless, she took this money. But the question is here, what I'm saying is the punishment, right? And this is because a lot of chats and comments and this and that. But my brothers and sisters, let's say somebody like that, Jessica Krug, Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Jessica Krug. I don't know if we should put all of these together. Epstein and Jessica Krug and Weinstein, Jessica Krug, Epstein, whatever. But how do we punish them? The punishment is, we're doing punishment, punishing somebody for their deeds, right? And then reprimanding and correcting, and the correct punishment. We've been struggling this for years and years and years. Civilization, right? Have a balanced punishment. I believe strongly in second chances. I believe in third chances, even if there's a fourth chances and even more. Right? I was given many chances. Right? Many, perhaps way too many. Perhaps I shouldn't be speaking here. Survived for more than 10 years ago, February 2010. Near fatal hit, won by a black sword. Across the great desert, suffered pain. I was chronic ill with disease, almost pestilence, illness. Having taken all the illnesses, pestilence absorbed of the world. So the Phoenix People's Party is my own death and rebirth. And I want us to join, locally, nationally, internationally, to secure food and housing, to love more, understand more. Everybody equal under the law. Everybody to be given food, housing, and transport, and then encourage them to work out, encourage them to exercise, encourage them to support them to dance, support them, encourage them, bless them to art, create, to love, to kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and mostly a lot of kissing, a lot of hugging, those willing though with consent. If you don't want, stay home, eat, food, travel, and that's it. Wear a mask, social distance, good distance. And let the willing come to the Phoenix, man. Let the willing come to me. Willingly loving. So regardless, but of course the question of punishment is very important. I'm gonna channel a poem now. Wait, I'm gonna put my hoodie instead. Let's put my hoodie. Poetry channeling. Let's go. Punishment. What do we do? What do I do? Are me and you gonna punish? Who? For what? Discern with what measure? Eye for eye? Or let me see. Can we negotiate something else? Punishment. Punish who? Would you want to know who did what to who? How? What about internal emotional factors that are illogical? 1 + 1 is 2. But what if I say 2 and something else triggers in you? Emotional understanding perhaps. Subconscious that is true. Punishment. Punishment, punishment. Me and you. What do we do? Can we reset? Put everything equal back to 0? That's a little bit of a channel of a poem. First and foremost, whatever else Adrian H Dragan H rebirthing his Hana is, independent artist, activist, athlete, that trinity, adding the 4th dimension of a universal spiritual teaching student. I am the world's greatest living millennial poet. Because the greatest poet was not a so-known, not a well-known, not mainstream, pretty underground. My great-grandfather, Aleister Crowley. He was the greatest ever poet. I'm the greatest living millennial poet, born in 1984. Late November 1984. Not that old. Millennials, 1982 to 93 or so, 94, 96. Some says 1980, but I use 1982. I'm saying 1980, but there's a dispute about 2 years. But nonetheless, this is my dream, Phoenix People's Party, that I put on the back burner for more than 22 years. Struggled, repressed, financials, struggling, lived, was born in a crisis. Financial crisis, was born in poverty, and struggled in poverty, multi-ethnic. lately in the past years, the only thing that I've really achieved was working out, training, exercising, losing 70 pounds. And I have written, but only published in a small book, that only one LGBTQ poem. And I have hundreds of poems lying around here written and billions unwritten yet from my heart and mind. Maybe from somewhere else as well. But for 22 years on the back burner was desire and my vision when I was a child. I wrote this utopian. I'm gonna admit, at heart, I'm a fucking utopian, man. I know reality hit us hard, hit me hard with COVID, but at heart, I'm that child, that kid, man. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 was, well, 11, 12, 13, 14-ish, 15-ish. He told me, I think that by the time of 2020, have a world federation with almost end of wars and no hunger and relative with no poverty, and now with COVID, it seems like poverty has been increasing just exponentially, and even in Canada here, people losing their jobs and not able to pay interest on the cards and bills piling up, and bills, mortgages, and evictions, homelessness. In '98, I wrote 20 years ago, I wrote a brief short story about somebody giving a speech about world peace, founding the World Federation, global currency, New World Order. 22 years later, paradoxically, another scenario I've created, October 2019, which yearly resembles COVID-19 crisis. So what I'm calling the creation of the global central bank to international citizen integrated social security force to secure food, housing, and transport for all. Then take an opportunity. In this dark time, tough times, have to have a resolution, right? So reversing globalization and this, it's not going to help us anymore, but working to pass on with all the technology that we attain to attain harmony between civilization and nature, the nature in us, also the wild in us, the channeling of those forces and impulses that differ in us, that we should all be equal under the law, to have the right to work where we will, to write what we will, to speak what we will, but of course with consideration, like there's triggering, there's emotions involved, trauma, right? To love how we will, to eat what we will, to craft what we will. We'll have freedom with liberty. And the food, housing, and transport secured, though. But with COVID, all our leaders are dissolving now. December 24th, December 25th, I'm officially dissolving all governments of the world. If they don't, all politicians, if they do not work to ensure, and all police forces and armed forces of the world, and if they don't work to ensure food security, housing security, and to some extent transport, to go to volunteer to get that food security, and corporations, mega corporations, McDonald's, Burger King, XYZ, to work to have food security for all, I dissolve all parliaments, governments of the world, and all armies to join, all police forces to join with the people, Phoenix People's Party, in the center, not extreme right, not extreme left, not communism, not fascism. 20th century, through repression, dictatorships, they turned into authoritarianism into. It's not easy. Even things to admit, you know. A lot of people will not want LGBTQ people. But LGBTQ people are my brothers and sisters. I am LGBTQ, bisexual, pan, whatever. Food, housing, and transport. And keep your distance. Wear a mask. Health crisis. Wash your hands, man. I love you. Here it is. This is my writings. The past years having struggled. Chronic illness, embrace the Phoenix People's Party. As I've struggled and suffered in the Hawk Island, Montreal, spent years in the libraries of the city of Hawk Island, Montreal. Many years in the libraries of city of Montreal, studying, reading. Writing this binder, international, anti-war, anti-racism, anti-poverty, internationalist, universalist, pro-love party. So it can't be just anti, gotta be pro-some, pro-love, man. And there it is. Just gonna find it. I wanted this video to only be 93 minutes, 37 seconds. But time can't control. I wanted this to be only 93 minutes, 37 seconds, but time cannot control. I wanted this video to be only 93 minutes and 37 seconds. But time cannot control. So I spent much time suffering, struggling, writing, educating. Reading, writing. Written much as I've struggled with chronic illness, absorbed the pestilences of the world. I was stricken, the world's ills. Brothers and sisters, north, east, west, south, from all over the world, I love you. We are joined together for world peace. Securing food, housing, and transport. I'm gonna find it. Oh my gosh. It's one of those library receipts from 7 years ago. Stubborn, eh? Gotta find it. There it is. Printed in 2009. I'm just gonna read because I found it there and I was stubborn. I wanna give up. pushed. Just gonna read the writings here. Our, meaning the Phoenix People's Party, in conjunction with the Dragon Army and Dragon Empire and the Dancing Goddess Empire too, whose mission, vision, and philosophies are securing food, housing, and transport by the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force. The other one, of course, is to in harmony between the development of civilization, no development that is, civilization and nature, with nature, by mass financing solar power, hydroelectricity, wind, electrical source, and public transit. A paradisical new world societal order has and is realizable. Our opponents will and have discredited it, false fabrications and illusions, for what a scarcity economy, false capitalism that has eaten at the superpower of an economy that we, North America, Europe, and other countries, have with the automation, mechanization, and techno-industrialization of our great, super advanced civilization, the imposition of a debt system, the regulated financialization of our capitalist system, the maintenance of a fractional reserve banking system, and the practice of interest, and money, lending, and credit have enslaved much potential, both societal and economic, that has to go. Those institutions produce nothing but money from money, not one potato from the ground. It's produced by them. Interest is slavery. Burn it all. In other words, we've got to limit interest, mass reform, and not just no reform. First and foremost, most important is securing food, housing, and transport for all citizens. That is all the purposes that all the security forces now should have all over the world, and all the corporations and all the politicians to secure food, housing, and transport for all. For alles. Für alles der Welt. For everybody in the world. Then something more personal. I think when it's in red, something more personal, in black is more global when I write, because it's been writing it for more than 7 years. So I was ill. I was sick for the last couple of years. I was bound by a seemingly incurable head wound. Like my body was full of pestilence and poison. I worked little and was mostly confined at home. I remember reading this maybe like 2012 and 13, 7 years ago. Yet even in that period of darkness, physical imprisonment, I studied and read countless books, as my library records can attest. It's true, thousands of books, countless books, kept on reading. My friends became books in libraries of the city of Montreal. I studied and read countless books, as my library records, the libraries of different libraries of Montreal, can attest. Learned more knowledge, acquired intellect and wisdom about economics, finance, philosophy, politics, spirituality, science, and many other fascinating topics. My struggle for healing came about like the sun rising, and decided to also strengthening my body. Success. and I saw what the future of civilization needs. Phoenix. Written by hand, so there you go. You can find. I found the Phoenix people's body with $1 American dollar. Since I can't eat this dollar, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Try it again. No, don't try it. Not even. It's not even close. 2009. See, it's very minty because I haven't used it, and it was for many years. This book for more than 7 years in this book here. Anyways, brothers and sisters, gotta clean my room. Office temple. Gonna get to it. Check my emails. And I love you. Happy holidays. Today, of course, marking the Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. And Sol Invictus, of course. Sol Invictus. Still, the forgotten goddess still dances with her brother's son. To produce, make, and create all fruits and vegetables. Even at this moment in time, it's 10 p.m. just struck Al-Qaeda in Montreal. This morning in China, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, India. The sun is rising somewhere else. World peace. World peace. Phoenix People's Party. The anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love, New World Order Party. The link between the dancing goddess, the Dragon Empire, its mission, vision, and philosophies are both a world peace. As of course is the mission, vision, and philosophy of the Dragon Empire, Phoenix People's Party. And of course, since at the end you are only here to see me dance, not to blah 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 and philosophize and discuss and converse about punishments and movies I don't remember the title to, and my struggles and my suffering and my struggles with being bisexual and having homoerotic desires and being a secret queen of spades and love and being financially rock bottom and minus and death and Tao, and me stating that I'm the world's greatest living millennial poet. You're all just here to see me dance. So let's dance. Ready? We'll put some music. Let's see what we got. What do we got? What do we got? Hey, that's not a belly. I lost 70 pounds. Flex it up, flex it up. And yes, I'm wearing this underneath so it looks got a bigger belly. Let's see.
YouTube this morning, I saw this video. This video's from yesterday, but
One world love, revolution, dances, snake queen, the lion, love, laugh together, moon goddess, sun king, want a phoenix flag too, phoenix rainbow, the sun, the moon on each wing, and the rainbow linking them, and the stars, the phoenix flag of the phoenix that I envisioned to be the phoenix people's party. Yours truly, founded by Adrian H Dragan H, rebirthing his son on this Christmas Eve day, officially launching it tomorrow, December 25th. Founded now, launched tomorrow. Like a rocket. Still countdown. 3 p.m. Hawk Island EST. A few more hours to go. 15 or so to be precise. Love you. I love you. I love you. God is blessed.